Hello Booktube, it's Louise the Big Head Bookworm. Lovely to see you. How are you doing? Here I am with my Booktubeathon Wrap Up. So these are the books that I read during the athon, my first athon that I tried, and oh Booktube! It was all going so well. I was so enjoying it. Oh Booktube! I could cry. I'm not going to, but I could cry. I was just, it was going really well. In my last update, you can see I was jolly, I was happy. I wasn't feeling 100%, but I was feeling kind of like, I just felt like I was overtired, and then that was Wednesday, and by Wednesday afternoon, I'm really not feeling quite myself. Anyway, I had a gastric flu virus. Oh, Booktube. Anyway, you don't know me well enough, and I don't know you well enough to go into the true details of the symptoms that I have experienced over the last 4 days. Oh, it's been horrible. It's been horrible. Anyway, all you need to know is that everything's a bit looser. I've given myself quite a detox. Let's just say that I've lost those extra pounds that I was wanting to lose in not a very nice way. No. So I didn't read. Oh, I just didn't feel well enough, and the irony was I wasn't sleeping because I felt so poorly. I wasn't sleeping, so I had loads of time to be reading, and because I wasn't sleeping, I didn't read. I wasn't able to read because I wasn't in my normal routine. Does anybody else find that? You think you're going to have more times and you just don't. But anyway, I felt so poorly, I couldn't concentrate and couldn't read. So, Booktube. I read Morrigan's Cross by Nora Roberts. I really enjoyed it. It was great. I started Moonraker by Ian Fleming on, when did I start it? Tuesday I started, didn't I? I finished it. I didn't pick it up again. I read a tiny bit on Wednesday, and then I didn't pick it up again until Friday night. When I thought, oh, I'm going to have to do something. So I started reading it during Friday night and a little bit on Saturday morning because I felt so poorly. And I started to read it and I finished it. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This has been, out of the whole of the Booktube stuff that I've read, this has been the one bright spot of this week, I have to say. Literally the brightest bit. It's such a good book. It is such a good book. Now, I am a complete Bond fan, and not in a cool, ironic way. I'm in a complete, I just really like Bond, and I just really like the films, and aren't they good? And isn't Bond cool and handsome and sexy? I am totally not cool about this. And I don't analyse them, and I just like Bond to be Bond. I like him to be suave and sophisticated, and I like elaborate plots, and I like lots of baddies and shooting them up, and I'm so uncool about Bond. Always have been, always have been. And I was a little bit kind of trepidatious about going into this, because I thought, well, perhaps this is going to kind of somehow take away from Bond, and it hasn't. It has added such a different dimension to it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to watch the film. It was on television, but we only got the second half recorded. Now I watched about 5 minutes of it, and I was going, oh well, I don't recognise any of this from the book. And so we tried to stream it, and it didn't work. Anyway, so I haven't watched it, and actually I'm really glad. I am really glad, because I think the books and the movies should be kept far apart from each other when it comes to Bond. He is such a cool. If you watch the original Bonds with Sean Connery, there is steel and coldness and a cruelty to him, which Roger Moore, who is the Bond from Moonraker, it doesn't have particularly. Well, he does have some distance and coolness, but anyway, let's not go down that road. But in the book, it's just so taut, and the attention to detail is phenomenal. And the story takes place from Monday to Friday, and the epilogue, the tiny bit at the end, is Saturday morning, basically, or maybe it's the following Monday. And it's this small period of time, and it's brilliant. 2 locations, London and Dover, and that's it. Whereas in the movie, it's all around the world. And the villain, Hugo Drax, is so repulsive. But it's what got me was how clever Ian Fleming is about showing you the character through the detail of what they wear and what they eat, and it didn't feel burdensome. It just felt multi-layered and rich, and I loved it. It's so of its time as well. It's 1955, and so the Second World War is in everybody's living memory. There hasn't even been a generation, you know, the generation is just about to click over, you know, it's still everybody's existence. The threat of the Cold War, the threat of the atomic bomb is present. It is something in open discussion. It's something people are frightened of. And the book really taps into that. It is just beautiful to read as well. There is a chilliness and a coldness and a deliberateness to it that I think is so of its time and beautiful. I really enjoyed it. This is the third Bond. I'm going to definitely try and collect the first two and give those a go and see whether it is a one-off, a one-hit wonder for me. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it will be. I just adored it. So anyway, so that was a bright spot in the week, was Moonraker. On Saturday, I was fit for nothing. I was fit for nothing, Booktube. And so I picked up my Patricia Wentworth, which was The Girl in the Cellar, which is a Miss Silver mystery. And it is a murder mystery. The murder happens before the book starts, and there is just this girl in the cellar. And it is very much a late 50s quiet mystery. That's what it is. There isn't enough Miss Silver in. It's not one of the best. If you like Patricia Wentworth, it's fine to read, but even then I think it's one that you could give a miss to. But it was fine. I wasn't feeling very well. I couldn't cope with any excitement whatsoever, so it was about perfect for me. I love the cover, so it's a win for that, and I'll be passing that on to my mother because she wants to read it anyway. And then on Sunday I picked up this, which is V.E. Schwab's A Dark Shade of Magic, and I'm about halfway through, just under halfway through. I'm really liking it. I am really liking it. I'm loving the fact it's not huge. I don't really feel like a huge book at the moment. It's quite dense though in the fact that it's, you know, rich in its description. I'm really enjoying that. The only thing I would say is, for people that have read it, I wish there had been more description at the beginning. I wish there'd been more building and more character building for Kel, who is one of the two main characters. I really liked him. I really I think I could fall in love with Kel, actually. And I think that's perhaps why I would like more. But I would like more of who he is before the peril starts. I think that's what I would want. I would want more setup. Just because I wanted to live in that world, because it's so rich and she's done so well. V.E. Schwab's done so well in building it. I really would like to spend more time in it, and I think it's a shame that it's gone straight into that. But then again, it's a shorter book, and so she has to. So kind of, you know, I suppose that's your kind of what you lose, isn't it? But I'm really enjoying it. I am really enjoying it, and I'm utterly, you know, captivated as to what's going to happen. So this is going to be a good one. So I know this is going to be a good one. I'm feeling better, so I'm able to cope with it. And so that's it, Booktube. I read 3.5, so I did half. I was hoping for, you know, between you and me, I didn't think I'd do all 7, but I thought I'd do 6. I thought I was going to do 6. Nora Roberts was my book. Hello, I've just banged you. Sorry about that. Book by my favourite author. So tick for that challenge. Moonraker is my book with yellow on the cover and my movie to book to movie adaptation. Although I didn't watch the film, but I'm ticking that. So that gets 2 ticks. Tick, tick. So that's 3 challenges. Patricia Wentworth is my book that is older than me challenge, because this was written in 1961, I think. So that's older than me. So I did 4 challenges out of the 7. So I didn't, you know, it's my first a-thon. What have I learnt? I like doing a-thons. I'm never going to do sprints. And I'm not going to do that kind of stuff. But I really like doing the a-thon. I really liked joining in, watching everybody's videos, people telling me what they were going to be reading. I loved that. I liked the idea of a community thing. So I definitely will be joining something else again. I'm going to have to pick my time. I'm going to try not to be ill on the next one. And there we go, Booktube. Did you have a good week? Did you have a good Booktubeathon? Are you now going to pick up Moonraker? You should. And I hope you've had a lovely time. I hope you've had a much better week than I've had, and you actually feel well. Although I'm feeling much better today, so that's a good thing. Oh, it's lovely to see you, Booktube. Look forward to seeing you again. Bye.